Hey friends, neighbors, Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Glendale, California. Going to stop the video, tell you a little more about this church. It's called We Kirk o' the Heather. It's also where they had the Jay Sebring funeral service back in 1969. I found some old NBC footage that I'm going to bring in, and as we go through it, I'm going to stop the video and point out different celebrities I recognize. This is as they're leaving the funeral service. This blonde girl is Jay Sebring's girlfriend. Steve McQueen on the left. The lady in the middle is Nell Adams, and that's a bearded Warren Beatty. Far left, James Garner, and on the right, you'll recognize Henry Fonda as they leave the funeral service. Now here comes Ryan O'Neal as he lights a cigarette. John and Michelle Phillips. Jay Sebring was a very popular hairdresser for the Hollywood celebrities. Had quite a clientele. Roman Polanski attends Sharon Tate's funeral service earlier in the day. And then he made a trip over here and paid his respects and attended the funeral service for Jay Sebring. Although they had the funeral service here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Glendale, California, Jay Sebring is not buried here. He was taken back home to Michigan to his final resting place. He was a friend of all cultures. If you recognize any celebrities I missed, any familiar faces, let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's a few I missed that I just didn't recognize, plus they're walking by quickly. Well, let's get on with the tour. And away we go. I usually walk about 3 miles doing these videos because not every grave is right next to each other. But I'm not complaining. First stop today, Vicente Minelli. Not complaining because I can certainly use the exercise and fresh air. Vicente Minelli was a stage and film director. He directed the classical musical movie Meet Me in St. Louis, a 1944 film, starring Judy Garland, for which he marries her a year later in 1945. And they have a daughter, Liza Minnelli. He wins Best Director for the 1958 film Gigi. Sorry for the shadow, I just can't seem to move the sun no matter how hard I try. Now we're out in the main section of the Memorial Park. We're going to stop by and see the grave of actress Julie Bergen. Her stage name is Julie Bishop. She's active from 1923 through 1957. She appears in 84 movies with stars such as Humphrey Bogart and John Wayne. She marries a major general in the California Air National Guard. He dies years before her in 1968. She remarries the very same year to William Bergen, a medical doctor. We're just straight out this direction at Julie Bishop. Now we're going to walk up on the grave location of Daniel James Daley. Dan Daley was an actor and a professional dancer in the movies and musicals. He is best remembered for the 1947 musical Mother Wore Tights, also starring Betty Grable. I remember him in The Private Lives of J. Edgar Hoover. He played a part of Clyde Tolson. Clyde was J. Edgar's right-hand man for many years from 1930 through 1972. They had an interesting file on Uncle Davy. I like to find grave sites of those perhaps forgotten or little known individuals from Hollywood's yesteryear, because everyone needs to be remembered, I think. This is Reba pictured with her sister Bonnie. Reba's on the left. The sisters wrote newspaper columns and was editor of film magazines such as Silver Screen and Screenland. These are much sought after magazines by collectors today. Straight ahead is Spencer Tracy, Walt Disney, which I featured in another video. This is the gravesite of Errol Flynn, also featured in a previous video here on my channel. But we're here to see today, right next door, Constance Lapino. Her stage name is Connie Emerald. She appears in 5 movies, including Yours for the Asking, a 1932 film. She is a mother of Ida Lupino, a Hollywood actress of the 1950s. Today, she is best known for being buried right next to Errol Flynn. We're just at Connie Emerald. If you come over here, we'll find a screenwriter, Jules Furthman. But I can see that Shallow Monster has us again. Jules was a screenwriter for a number of popular films, including Mutiny of the Bounty, a 1935 film. He's nominated for an Academy Award for his work on this film. He's also the screenwriter for The Big Sleep, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. You know, nothing really happens in Hollywood until a screenwriter does his magic. Would we know the names of Errol Flynn, Lauren Bacall, Humphrey Bogart? While we're in this area, let's make our way up to a weekly television series star, Clayton Moore. We'll stop by here briefly. I have featured him on another video right here on my channel. Coming up on the grave of Hollywood actor Hugh O'Brien. O'Brien is best known for playing the life and legend of Wyatt Earp from 1955 through 61. Also had a supporting role in the John Wayne last film, The Shootist. This came out in 1976. Hugh O'Brien gets married one time, and he's married right here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park at the church that I showed at the beginning of this video. You may be surprised to learn that there have been 35,000 marriages performed here. On his honeymoon, O'Brien and his new bride spend the week at Oxford University studying philosophy. Very interesting. He dies in his home here in Hollywood at the age of 91. Across the road is the Freedom Mausoleum, and this is where Larry Fine is buried. If you walk across the road, come right here, you'll find another Three Stooge, Joe Besser. After Shemp died in 1955, Joe Besser joins the Three Stooges as the sissy character. He had in his contract not to be hit as much as Curly and Shemp had in the past. Larry Fine steps up and says he'll take the slaps. Joe is a next door neighbor of Lou Costello. He dies at age 80 of heart failure. Next up, you'll recognize the name of singer Natalie Cole. She rose to prominence with the release of her 1975 debut album, Inseparable. She wins a Grammy Award for Best New Artist of that year. She'll go on to receive 8 more Grammy Awards in her career. She had a lifetime battle with drugs, including the bad stuff, heroin and crack. In 2008, she is diagnosed with hepatitis C. She dies of heart failure at age 65 in 2015. Her father, Nat King Cole, is inside the mausoleum right here. This is our lucky day because this is a private area, but today the door was unlocked. Just would like to stop by here briefly as I go to the next location. This is the LA prosecutor, Vince Bugliosi. He's the LA prosecutor that sent the Manson gang to prison forever, including Charles Manson. I featured him in another video here on my channel when I visited the gravesites of the Manson victims. Our next stop, you probably won't recognize the name of Arthur W. Ferguson, but you'll definitely recognize the voice of Charlie Tuna. He starts out working in radio in Wichita, Kansas. He works at various stations throughout the Midwest until he lands a major market job in Los Angeles. Soon he gets discovered and becomes the announcer for game shows such as Scrabble, the $25,000 Pyramid, amongst others. Well, thanks for dropping by today. Everybody needs to be remembered, and I'll see you on the next one.